Within the first hours of today, I started playing this game called Forge of Empires by the same company that maintains Elvenar, so that I could complete a game quest for Gamehag, since their offers their wall of offers got rid of the links to go to a particular article, be on it for, on average, maybe a few minutes, and then have the notification pop up that you had completed the task to go on a page with an article. For example, on tips to help you find mortgage refinancing, or maybe an auto accident attorney, those sort of things. You didn't have to do anything other than go to the page with the article in order to complete the task, receive a handful of soul gems, typically less than 10. And that was how I kept myself from turning into a frog on Gamehag for inactivity. Before they apparently changed one of their offer walls. So, for the time being, I went to the game section the offer wall that was changed is called the Wall of Shadows. Now it's a Rev U plus something. And I couldn't find those offers to go to pages with those articles. So I just went to the game section, found that Forge of Empires has some tasks, or FOE for short. And so I went on there, after creating an account, completed Gamehag's first quest. These are the names of the provinces. Gamehag's first quest for this game was to capture 2 provinces. and I captured them through combat. And my tip is to try to stick to bush/forest terrain so that you get a bonus to your defense. Mom didn't have work today, so I think she got up maybe around 10:30 in the morning. It was around 10:45 in the morning when I went on the camera app on my phone to take a picture of the back of that styrofoam drawing I showed yesterday, since Mom wanted that in order to post those images. Typically the front and now the back of that styrofoam drawing onto Facebook, which I'm fine to do since it means that I add value to primarily her Facebook friends by allowing them to view my styrofoam drawings. I would complete this story quest, except I haven't figured out how to find my neighbors. I sent a friend request to someone on this game, but they declined it. And maybe it's because I'm too new in this game. I can't figure out how to get to where you can see all the other players. I unlocked this quest when I think, if I recall correctly, it was when I successfully researched this. It was around the very early afternoon, around 1 p.m. when Mom finished cooking some cauliflower onion rings that are surprisingly calorie dense. According to what she saw on the nutritional information, I think it's something like 200 calories for 3 onion rings, but those onion rings were pretty big, but it was still shocking to me since it seemed like even deep fried cauliflower shouldn't have a whole lot of calories. It was around 1 p.m. when I had those cauliflower onion rings. Cauliflower rings, I mean. Just cauliflower. And Mom saved 3 of the rings for herself, and I think after I had those cauliflower rings, I ended up falling asleep. And then I woke up around 7 p.m. And while I was asleep, Mom went to Wegmans, getting kombucha, some sushi, and by request, she had managed to find 2 of those teriyaki salmon. That roll was, well, that nigiri was pretty tasty. It was around 7 when I had the teriyaki salmon meal Mom got at Wegmans, which came with mushrooms and roasted red peppers. And it also came with a teriyaki sauce that tasted pretty good. During the early part of today, before I fell asleep, I thought about what styrofoam drawing I should do as a gift for Grandma on Mom's side for Mother's Day. We'll be going to visit Mom's side of the family on Sunday. And Mom told me that she likes flowers, so that's what made me decide I'm going to do a landscape drawing. At first, I thought about doing a detailed drawing of a sunflower. But then I would decide to instead of positioning the styrofoam piece portrait style, I decided I would position it landscape style and basically do a potted plant that's bushy, basically a bush or shrub with flowers scattered throughout it. And I'm just asking, I just need to get from Mom what colors are her mom's favorite. While thinking about exactly what I wanted to do, I haven't started it yet. I decided to skim through paintings by Ivan Seal in order to think about come up with inspiration for exactly how to go about this bushy plant that I'm going to be drawing in the future. And my throat is currently a little sore. It was sore at 7 p.m. when I had the teriyaki salmon meal. I'm on the last technology to research for the Sorcerers and Dragons chapter, aka the University chapter. I remember within the first hours of today I had one of those milks Mom tends to get from Wendy's with some of the Pakwai haunted ghost pepper chips. Along with the last two oatmeal raisin cookies from this. The chips aren't as bad as the name implies, although they still do have some considerable spice to them. Enough to make your nose run if you keep at it. Although typically I prefer my spice to come in the form of a sauce rather than a spice, unless I'm putting the spice into a soup or something that's like soup, such as instant ramen. I'm currently working on the 99th Dan Hamming project. I searched parking lot on Bing Images in order to find an image I could use in order to create a custom prop for lines. The lines you see at a parking lot. Since I couldn't get what I needed, that is to have the white line start off narrow and then gradually widen as you move to the forefront of the background or the scene, since when I tried to use Vyond's shape props to do that, it ended up having the same width throughout, so it didn't look like it was actually attached to the asphalt of the parking lot. And then, once I isolated the lines, using Lunapic, I used more effects in Lunapic in order to make the lines consistent with the styling of the scene. I made those lines all white by at least boosting the gamma on the adjust light levels effect as high as it could possibly go. And I recall having to do some more things, such as doing an effect that increased the contrast, among something else too. Either way, I finally managed to figure out how to put down, some lines for a slot within the parking lot for that supermarket in the scene I'm currently designing. At this time, I currently don't know what the second quest is for Forge of Empires. I think it took something like 15 minutes for Gamehag to confirm that I completed the quest. After I submitted the proof screenshot, for which I used the snipping tool, I did a rectangular snip. Although a Gamehag had me wait at least 6 hours, possibly more, before they would tell me what the second quest for this game, which I assume is one of InnoGame's older projects. That's just what I'm assuming. It's definitely not their newest. They recently made a new game, although at this time I haven't tried it out and have no interest in doing so because I think it's a mobile exclusive. Can't really afford to fill up my phone space with games when I need that space for videos. So at this time, I don't know what the second quest is for this game. Based off comments I saw before I created my account for this, oddly enough, when I was going for the tutorial, I am taking over the first province. I got deja vu feelings like I've done this before. At first, I thought there would be a problem since this Elvenar and this game Forge of Empires is by the same company, but I did that using I made an account for both of those games using the same email address, but it seems to me that's only a problem if they're downloadable games rather than browser games. This is a browser game. World of Tanks and Crossout are examples of downloadable games that have standalone launchers that aren't dependent on a browser. Problem is, if to create an account for two different standalone games by the same company and to get credit for Gamehag task on them, you have to use different email addresses for the games. I learned that the hard way. Although now that I think about it some more, maybe Mom only managed to find one teriyaki salmon meal from Wegmans because while we were making small talk during that evening meal, she ended up having something similar, basically salmon with some kind of breading based on what I saw from the leftovers in the fridge. Oh, and in the morning, around the time Mom got up, so around 10:30 in the morning, I weighed myself and I got 279 pounds. Which is a lot for someone who's at least 5'9". That's what I recalled the last time I had my height measured, but it could be up to 2 inches more. I'm not entirely sure at this point. Oh dear. While I'm currently building this, I knew that would potentially happen when I started increasing the population, and I got rid of those trees in order to make some space. If I recall correctly, I believe I was told that the ideal weight was something that's some under 200. If I recall correctly, Mom calculated that I had a BMI of 41. Although, I think that what's more important is that you eat good food that's healthy, and be active. Yesterday I went on a roughly 2-mile walk to Wegmans and back. 2 miles counting both the walk to Wegmans and back from Wegmans. though I didn't do that today. Since it rained on and off today. And it was also overcast.